Good morning, YouTubers. Hang in there. Kelly and I will be with you right after Fox News break coming up in a few seconds here, so about another minute or so. So we'll be with you in about 2 minutes, and we'll see what's cooking for today. We will be joined by our Congressman, Greg Murphy, at 7:30. We also got our local school board member. He's, in hot water again, so the saga continues. So we'll bring you all of that in just a very few minutes. So hang in there. We'll be with you. Should we say TGIF?
Yes, we should say that actually.
Hey, well, you haven't even been here.
I know.
You skipped from Monday to Friday,
I
right?
know, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
good morning. Kelly's back,
Yeah, I'm back.
and I'm here, Rayford. So welcome into the Friday edition of Live and Local Real Talk, originating here on WSME AM and FM. If you want to listen to us somewhere else, or you want to get out of your car, or you want to leave your home and you're going to work, and you can put an earbud in your ear and tune into our YouTube channel,
Mhm.
and nobody will know you're listening to us. They'll
That's
think
right.
you're working.
Yeah.
Just kidding, sort of. YouTube.com, and then just search for Live and Local Real Talk. Be sure you put the Real Talk in there because apparently there are a lot of live and locals out there. You put Live and Local Real Talk, it'll pop us up at the top
Mhm.
every time. And just click on it, and you can listen to us. You can watch us if you dare. You're not wearing that's sort of a blue, isn't it?
I'm wearing I just looked, we
Oh,
match.
for goodness sakes.
Yeah. You're wearing blue, I'm wearing blue.
Yeah, here we go again.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Um, lots been going on earlier this week. I guess it was Monday. This hearing started. Was it Monday for school board member? This
Yes.
A motion
It was
hearing.
Monday, yes.
Eric Whitfield has been in the news quite a bit over the
Mhm.
last year, a couple of 3 years, in fact. Member of the school board. He was elected to bring you folks up to speed who might not remember everything. He ran for school board as a Republican,
Mhm.
and it was pretty much a Republican sweep anyway, as it was. So
Yes.
he was one of the five who were selected in the process, the primary in 2020, and then he stayed on top. And there was no doubt that there was some doubt
Mhm.
that a Democrat, I think it was one Democrat running that year, maybe two,
I
something.
think there was 2,
Okay, but
I
anyway,
think.
so he was with the R beside his name, and in spite of putting out on Facebook and elsewhere, and on this show too, don't vote for me, don't vote for me, I don't want you to vote for me.
Mhm.
I don't know what else he said or what his excuses were, reasons were, but people did not listen to that, and they voted for him anyway.
Well, he was also disavowed by the Onslow County Republican
Yeah, well,
Party.
that kind of made him mad.
Yeah, that was due to racial comments he had made in a Facebook post.
Right.
And it actually led to him being dismissed from his job.
Yeah, oh, was that right?
hmm
Oh, I didn't know that.
hmm
But anyway, he's been on the board, and he said even if elected, he's just going to vote the way the chairman does. He's not going to do it anything else. I think that
Did he?
has changed
Okay, I didn't know. Did he do in his voting?
for a while.
Okay.
And then it got into a little bit of trouble over a cyber stalking claim. A member, an employee of the county's school system, said that he was cyber stalking her. He denied it, said she was responding as well, and yada, yada, yada. So the school board, he was convicted.
Yes, he was convicted.
Served a couple of days in jail after he apparently didn't do what the judge wanted him to do in the original sentence, got a suspended sentence, and was told to behave himself.
He wrote a book.
And he wrote a book.
hmm
And nope, can't do that. So the book was ordered removed.
hmm
And he was ordered not to sell it, not to do anything with it anymore. So the school board, the remaining members of the school board, I don't know how many voted this way, but they decided they would like him removed from the Board of Education. Even though he had not been convicted of a felony, he had brought a lot of undue stress, strain, and I guess embarrassment to the board.
And and one of the things I read on one of the local reportings, I think one of the things they also said was it's loss of confidence by the public in the board.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
we've heard about that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that happen.
Yeah.
So many people were saying, they even called the Board of Elections, can't you take him off? Can't you do? No.
Doesn't work. He's elected.
Doesn't
Doesn't
work
work
that
that way.
way.
Yeah.
And if that was the case, we would be in deep water. I found out yesterday that down in New Hanover County, they've had several of these. I think County Commission and maybe in Brunswick County as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and two of them were overturned on the appeal of the individual representatives, whoever they were,
Yeah.
commissioner, and I don't know what the other one was, but they were overturned. So the Board of Education has been given the information, the results of this hearing this week, and whatever. Two people testified. Two of the people who testified this week obtained no contact orders, and they were served on Eric Whitfield this week after the hearing. As a result of the cases, the no contact orders, they deal with earlier incidents, nothing new, because of this week's
Yeah.
motion hearing. This is earlier on. They
Right.
were advised apparently to go take out no contact orders after they testified. Whitfield, on this show earlier this week, maintains his innocence and says he will appeal any decision that removes him from the Board of Education if it comes to that. The appeal would be filed with a Superior Court judge. A Superior Court judge would then make a decision whether he should be reinstated or whether, he's good to go. And then after that, after the appeal process, don't know how long that'll take, but he has a certain amount of time to file the appeal after whatever decision the school board makes. And but they can't fill that vacancy until after that.
So they can't fill the vacancy until everything is said and
Until
done,
the-
and there's a final decision made.
Yeah, the
That
Superior.
in other words, that the appeal is either overturned or upheld.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
That
And
makes
once
sense.
that happens, and of course, if it's overturned, if the decision of the school board is overturned, he's still on the board. He would be reinstated on the board.
Correct.
But he will be removed if the school board members vote to do that. And pending an appeal, he may stay removed, but he would have to be reinstated otherwise.
Well, I would think they would vote to remove him since they've gone this far.
Well, yeah, it's spent a
Spent
lot
a lot of money
on
on
this thing too.
Mhm. I've heard upwards of $100,000.
Yeah, well, that include the investigation,
Yeah, the
two
investigation, all of
PIs,
it.
a couple of lawyers, and then
Yeah.
this hearing
Then
this week.
the hearing was 33,000. Eric said that himself.
Yeah, yep. So it's an
It's a lot of
expensive
money. It's a lot
process.
of taxpayer money
It is.
on nonsense. And I don't mean that. I mean, he did a lot of things he shouldn't have done. I mean, if I were him, and I'm not, I would just let this go, move on, because he wants to run for office again.
It's just,
and let this kind of blow over and just go on until, whatever. But
yeah,
he says he's not. He's going to
yeah,
appeal it. I
yeah,
wouldn't, but
yeah.
that's,
Yeah, no, I don't really want to go into a place that people don't like me.
correct. Same.
If I'm in a workplace even, and
Hmm.
so many people don't like me, don't like what I'm doing, I just go move on.
Well, not only that, everything he does from this point forward is going to be
Of
scrutinized by
course,
everybody.
yeah,
Like everyone is watching you. I
yeah.
mean, you want to talk about that's a lot of pressure.
It is, and I feel bad for
I
Eric.
do too.
Eric
I
has got a
mean,
brain on
yeah,
his head.
he
He really
does.
does.
He does.
He's a pretty smart individual,
Hmm.
but
But he hasn't made a lot of smart decisions, if that makes
there's a
sense.
difference.
Yeah,
Smart decisions don't always come from smart people.
agreed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes as my grandmama used to say, you can be too smart for your own good at
Yes.
times.
Hmm.
So
I've heard that too. My grandma actually, it must be a grandma
yeah,
thing. 'Cause
it
I've
was.
heard that
I'm
before
sure.
too. Yeah.
Well,
So I guess we just wait and
we
see
do.
what happens.
Um,
And
we,
he's taken all his social media down,
well,
is my understanding. So,
I don't know. Might be
I
a wise
mean,
thing to be
yeah,
doing.
I agree too. I think that played a bit part of it. Some of his stuff was a bit out there.
Yeah.
I've seen some of it and I was like, whoa. So,
Yeah, I saw some of the videos that he
mhm,
did,
yeah,
like the countdown
they were
video,
bizarre.
68
Yeah,
hours and stuff like that,
yeah, a little
and
weird.
the way he was doing it, and the timing, and
I think it made a lot of people nervous.
well, it did made a whole
Yeah,
lot of people nervous.
yeah.
What's going to happen
He's
here?
getting people. I think some people were questioning his mental state.
Well,
Well, you
yeah,
couldn't. How could you not, based on those videos?
yeah. Well, that's kind of like that's just Eric. That's the
Yeah,
way I
but
look
some
at it
people,
too.
not everyone knows him though.
I
So to
know
the
that.
average person that doesn't know look at that and be like, "What the heck is this?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
they probably do that with me too when I go off.
Hmm.
When President Biden's slumping approval numbers, with Democrats afraid they're going to lose big time in November and these midterm elections coming up. Seems that, in spite of his campaign promises, guess what Biden did yesterday?
There's no telling.
He signed off on an order for the Department of Homeland Security to move forward and complete 4 sections of the border wall in the Yuma district.
What?
Yep, he's given the go-ahead. Trump started that whole campaign after he took office back in 2016, 2017. Caught a lot of flack, and it was used against him during his reelection bid, made fun of him by the Democrats. With mounting pressure from the Border Patrol and with an unstoppable flow of illegals continuing to sneak into this country, with the amount of fentanyl flowing like an avalanche, a wall is likely the only way to start to regain control. Of course, stopping future illegals from getting here does nothing to fix the hundreds of thousands who are already here getting free everything at the expense of you and me. Maybe the big fence will free up some Border Patrol agents and allow them to start rounding up those illegals and send them packing. That would be a change, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Of course, all that could change again after the November elections.
Agreed.
Speaking of illegals, let me give you a little good news. I like the Coast Guard. Coast Guard cutter Vigilant, working out of Florida, has just returned home after a 60-day interdiction deployment in the South Atlantic and Caribbean. During that time, they intercepted boats, if you want to call them that. Some of them don't deserve the name more than a bathtub with leaks in it. Many were homemade, all were overloaded, and all were headed to Florida. Overloaded? Well, yeah, with Haitians and Cubans. 3 boats were stopped during that tropical depression we had a couple of weeks back. Remember that thing that formed off the coast? And
Yeah.
they were stopped. 3 boats in the middle of that. The coasties say it stood no chance of staying afloat in 10 to 12-foot seas.
No doubt. Oh,
They
no.
rescued them. 44 occupants were brought aboard Vigilant, then they were returned to Cuba. A sailing vessel during that 60-day deployment was one of the 18 boats the Coast Guard stopped. It had 147 Haitians on board, not a huge sailing boat, one in the
Oh,
34,
my.
40-footer.
Oh, my.
Yeah,
That's way overloaded.
they were taken back to Haiti.
Yeah.
More than 500 would-be illegals were intercepted by Cutter Vigilant during that 60-day deployment, and they were sent back home.
They'll come back because they're escaping such oppression, though.
What we don't know is how many other boats they
Made it through.
know, how many other boats went to the bottom.
Oh, that's true too. Yeah. Yeah.
Out in the open seas,
Oh, I agree.
not a
You'll
whole lot
never,
going to be floating.
Yeah, I agree with
Not
that.
a whole lot
Yeah.
going to be floating down there.
Yeah. True.
So I hate it for them. A lot of them
Mhm.
are going to be kids. A lot of them going to be women, of course. But we don't have a country that's capable of dealing with this. We don't need it here. We are oppressed enough inside this country. And we got so many people in government, all they want to do is give away, give away, give away.
Well,
Let's talk about your billboards.
yeah, you want to talk about
I
those?
want to talk about your billboards. You
Okay.
took a little trip. You moved south of the border too, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to go to the doctor in South Carolina.
Yeah, that's south of the border.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, driving along.
In Jacksonville,
Oh,
I see this billboard coming out of Jacksonville.
southwest area.
Definitely southwest area.
Mm-hmm.
And the billboard said, let me read it. I'm going to read it right now.
Just a simple two
Stop
words.
think. It's black and it's got white letters.
Yeah.
Stop thinking, support autocracy.
So they're telling me on this big old billboard,
Mhm.
4 words
Mhm.
to stop thinking
Mhm.
and support autocracy.
Correct.
So, autocracy. That's the key word.
System of government where the government is ruled by one individual with absolute power.
Like Adolf Hitler.
Correct.
Yeah, dictator.
Correct.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
So you further explored this.
Yes, because this had me disturbed because not only did I see it here in Jacksonville, I actually saw it in Brunswick County as well. So I'm like, what the heck is this? So there was a small, like on the corner of it, like
of the billboard,
like the name. It's all, it didn't tell you to do anything. So it's 2 lanterns with the number 2 lanterns.org.
2lanterns.org.
Yeah.
So you went to 2lanterns.org.
So I went to, my daughter and I, both daughters, because we were like super disturbed. And once we read it, what this group is trying to do is they're trying to prevent a autocratic government. And they are trying to make people aware, I guess aware would be the right word I would use, about what's happening in our society
it was
today.
A reverse
it's
move.
Like reverse. But the problem I have with it, some people will just read that
and not go any further.
Not everybody goes to a website.
No, they don't.
So if I were their people, I would have probably changed up how I did things. But they're a group that they call themselves descendants of basically Paul Revere. Of
Patriots.
Patriots. And they say we're descendants, people that opposed, we were colonizing because we're trying to, escape oppression, enslavement, blah, blah, blah. And they say we're direct descendants of the 2 individuals in 1775 that, were on the church steps in Boston, basically, the Old North Church, basically. But they have another billboard that says ban books. They have 3, and they're all black with white letters. And this one says ban books. And the other one says, let me read this other one, weaponized distrust. And like I said, the problem I have, Rayford, some people are going to see these billboards and they're not going to go any further to kind of use their reverse psychology. They're just going to get all hyped up on that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So, because like I said, not everybody checks out websites like they should, because at first I was like,
well, you were one of those.
I was like, what kind of crap is this?
Until you were reading it.
Once I read it out loud and it made sense what they were doing. Like, okay, this makes a little more sense now. Now I get it. Clever, but not clever, in my opinion. I would have done it differently, but I mean, it definitely got, my family talking. Me and the girls were like, what is this? Because it was disturbing.
Yeah.
And when you're driving down the road and you see it, and we had to look up the definition of autocracy. I'm like, wait, what? They're wanting a dictator government, basically. But now that I have gone back and read out loud their actual website, no, they want to start conversations. They don't want that. But
they want us to think.
They want us
really
to think.
They don't. Telling you to stop thinking.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, that got my attention. I said, no.
Yeah.
Nobody who wants you to stop thinking will tell you to put that out there as an ad. no,
Yeah.
that won't happen.
But it
So
was just like, whoa. So now I feel better now that after reading out loud to you their website, it
I
makes
think we need to
sense.
get them on the phone if we can,
I would
if
like
we can
to.
find a telephone number for them, if they got an email contact or
Yeah,
whatever.
let
So
me
you
see what I
can,
can. I
you
will
don't have
do
to do
some
it right
research.
now.
No, but I'll
We
do
can do it
some
for
research.
next week. Okay. Let's take a break, do a little bit of weather. And just after we get in, after the break, I'm tell you a little bit of stuff about heat first, and then we'll do the weather because the heat is, ERs are jammed.
Oh, big time.
Okay. You're
Yes.
live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME. The weather, if you haven't been outside this week, you've
Hmm.
missed it, but because the weather, it's been pretty dang warm around
Hmm.
here
Oh,
and
yeah.
across the country, a big chunk of it.
Correct.
And it's going to cool off for the weekend, but we're going to have a lot of rain too. We'll get into that in just a
Hmm.
second. But hospitals in eastern North Carolina, any number of them have seen a lot of people who are kind of stressed, heat
Yes.
stressed,
Yes.
and they issued their typical warnings. First of all, load yourself up with fluids, and caffeinated stuff ain't the good fluids.
No.
Your best stuff is going to be straight up water, Gatorade, because you do need to replenish some of
Yeah.
that stuff that you're losing.
Yeah.
So those are the kinds of things you need to be doing. A lot of severe cases of heat related illnesses
I've
too.
heard that. Yes.
That's what they're noticing in the ERs
Hmm.
up and down the eastern area here. Some people, one doctor said, take a few days in the hospital
Hmm.
to get all this out of their system.
Hmm.
It takes that long to recover. Wow. Um, Another heat related situation, of course, air conditioning and your electric bill. You can rest assured your electric bill is going to be high when the next system comes out, the billing cycle.
Hmm.
It's going to be high. And I hope you've got air conditioning. One thing you can do to help a little bit with that, pull your blasted shades down.
Hmm.
Don't worry about looking outside. It's just hot.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if don't leave the doors open, don't leave the refrigerator open a lot. Those kinds of things. Your uh, Another thing that you can do is just make sure your thermostats are set right. I'm lucky. I'm on that Jones Onslow thing with automatic thermostats. They save money too, but they kind of keep it very consistent. Um, Limit the amount of time you leave your doors open when you go in and out.
Yeah.
So those are lots of the little things you can do. Um, So anyway, I don't know. It's just going to be hot for a while. Be careful. Be very careful. It's great to be able to live in a place like Eastern North Carolina, though, even when it's hot. We have an opportunity to fish pretty much year round. What, guy was at Tideline yesterday talking, and he said, only place I can get any relief is on the water with the boat running. I can create a 30-mile-per-hour wind. I said, well, I can create a 48-mile-per-hour wind. So that's one thing. To take advantage, the most advantage of the opportunity of living around here, you need to check in with the Tideline team. If you have a boat, you're one step ahead. Just make sure that professionals keep your motor in perfect order. The technicians at Tideline Marine are there for you. Yes, they're busy, and that should tell you something. You don't want to go down. The best thing you can do when you're looking for a restaurant on the highway, find one that's busy with a lot of truckers behind it or a lot of cops.
Because the food is good.
That's right.
Yeah, I agree with
Same
that.
thing when you're looking for somebody to work on your boat.
Yeah.
If you're considering a boat, you don't have one yet, you really need to see the folks at Tideline. Even if you're not ready to purchase right now, have a chat with George and the team to discuss future opportunities. Tideline Marine and Family. Stop in, look around, sit, and chat a spell. Located on the banks of the New River at 159 Old Bridge Street in downtown Jacksonville. There is a small craft advisory in effect until mid-morning, so be careful out there. Southwesterly winds 15 to 20 today, seas 3 to 5, dominant period 5 seconds. Sounds and rivers will be chopping. Pretty much the same thing tomorrow, 15 to 20, winds out of the southwest 3 to 5, and choppy rivers. 10 to 15, coming down just a little bit on Sunday, increasing to 15 to 20 in the afternoon, seas 3 to 4. And on Monday, this warm winds out of the southwest, 15 to 20 again, seas 3 to 5. And we got some rain coming, right?
We do. Today, mostly sunny, a high of 96, but we are under a serious heat advisory with the heat index value here as high as 111.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be windy today with gusts as high as 21 miles an hour. Tonight, there's a chance of showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy, a low of 77 otherwise. But tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms are likely, mainly after 2. We're still under heat index value tomorrow with heat index values as high as 103. Some of the storms could produce very heavy rainfall during the day. Otherwise, it's going to be a high of 91. Tomorrow night, definite rain, showers, and thunderstorms. Heavy rain could be produced with up to an inch of rain possible. Then on Sunday, showers and thunderstorms likely again, otherwise cloudy with a high of 87.
Well, a little cooler, but
a
little rain.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll help cool things down just a little bit.
And, it should. It normally does.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see. Yeah.
Last night there was the annual baseball game between the Republicans and the Democrats. And
I forgot about that. Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was last night. And we're going to be talking with our congressman. He was playing on the team.
Okay.
So he'll be calling us in about 2 minutes. So we'll be chatting with him. But yesterday, Wednesday, we had a big warning from the Capital City Police Chief because he had wind that a lot of protest groups were going to be there and they were intending to disrupt that ball game.
Why?
They just, because of climate change, and these Congress people are not doing what these protesters want them to do. Climate protesters, 3 of them, got arrested last night. They showed up. They did not disperse. The chief said, if you violate any of those rules, you are going to get arrested. Do we have a tone? We do. Oh, okay. I'm going to disconnect the caller, and if you would call right back, and because sometimes a tone pops in there.
Yeah, and it was a tone.
And it was a tone, a loud tone.
So they disrupted this game.
They tried to.
Fool.
They were trying to, and what the police were there in force.
Yeah.
He said they were going to be there in force, and they were there in force. Oh, we got it again.
How can you tell that? Oh, okay, got it. Now I know for future reference.
I think this is probably our Dr. Murphy. So, Doctor, there's just call right back. I'm going to busy out this line. Let it go to the other one. How's that? Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, folks.
It'll roll over to the other one.
Yeah.
Now I know when I'm here and you're not, what that red thing means. Cool.
So much better. Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm great. How are y'all?
I'm
We're
fine.
good.
You know, this electronic stuff.
Yeah.
Just as soon as you figure out that it's working perfectly, it doesn't. So,
No, it's in charge, remember.
yeah, I know. Dr. Greg Murphy, our 3rd District Representative, and fresh from the field, the playing field. How did you do last night, Doc?
We trounced the Democrats. We had a resounding 10-0
Oh
victory.
my.
I saw that. I
We
said,
blanked
amazing,
them.
amazing.
We obliterated them, which was just so fun, so very, very fun.
So you're going to tell me this is a sign of the times of the fall elections?
Well, we can only hope this is just what's going to happen in the fall. But it was great. It was a great team effort. It's really a wonderful thing. There were over 25,000 fans in the stadium last night. They raised $1.7 million for charities, pediatric charities. For kids who are sick, the Boys and Girls Club, multiple other things. And so it was just a great event. We had a rain delay for about 20 minutes, and then that passed. We got back out on the field, and it was tremendous. So it was awesome. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun.
Lots of fun. That thing's been going on. Lee had done a little history for me, checked it up, and she sent it in this morning. Kelly is with me this morning, by the way.
Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
And she I looked at it. She sent me a link to it. This thing dates back to 1909.
Yeah. It's really a long, long time. It's really tremendous.
Yeah.
And there have been some. Steve Largent, I don't know if you remember that days, the wide receiver for the
I do.
San Francisco 49ers when he was in Congress. He played. We've had some real notable people. Last night was a special night, though. Kevin Brady, who is the former chairman of the Ways and Means Committee, which is the committee I'm on. This was his last game.
Oh.
He has played for 25 years in a row.
Wow.
And it's just tremendous. And Kevin loves baseball. He played in college. He played in semi-pro league. And he's played in front of me for second base, so there's no way I was going to move up the roster with him in front of me. And anyway, it was a big celebration for him yesterday, especially. He had his portrait unveiling. They have the chairmen have their portraits of committees. They have their portraits made. It was really a tribute to a really wonderful man. And Kevin had a fantastic game last night, and so it was really a good thing all around. Wonderful, wonderful thing, and especially squishing the Democrats. So it was a great thing.
Well, it was kind of unfair of you Republicans to do what you did, because unfair advantage. Who was the coach for the Democrats last night?
I don't know. He's been their coach for a few years. So
no, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi.
By the rules?
You are lying.
Nancy Pelosi was the coach for the Democrat team. That's what it says right here.
Oh my word!
She never showed up. She wasn't the coach. No way.
Oh my!
Really?
I thought you were going to say we were unfair to the Democrats because we played by the rules.
I try not to do too many commentaries. Right.
Well, it was really very unfortunate. There was a woman named Linda Sanchez who got up to bat, and she got walked, went down to first base, and they put in a base runner, and so she runs back by our dugout and flips us off.
Really?
Flips us the bird.
Oh, that's childish.
They caught it. I have a picture. Somebody sent me the picture of it on TV. It was just low class.
I would cherish that.
Wow.
I know, just low class. One of the best parts of the game is they had 3 base runners on and no outs. So they had the bases loaded, no outs. And August Pfluger, who's a great member from Texas, former Air Force Academy graduate, came in and struck 2 out and got 1 to ground out. It was fantastic. He totally deflated their hopes of scoring.
Holy moly!
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, it made the internet about her flipping you guys off.
Oh, I didn't see that yet.
Here.
Oh, did
yeah, I just looked it up. Yep. Oh, yep. Here it is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Such class.
So
such
childish.
class.
Oh, yeah.
And last game for a couple other players. One is Anthony Gonzalez, a member from Texas.
Uh-huh.
Anthony was a former wide receiver for the Philadelphia Eagles. Anthony's a tremendous fella, a hell of an athlete, unbelievable athlete. He voted to impeach Trump, and Trump went after him. And so he decided not to run again, and it was kind of unfortunate.
Oh.
Rodney Davis, a member from Illinois, really fantastic guy, person, really true. He was our catcher, and he was defeated in a primary, unfortunately, by another member of Congress, and they got double bunked. And trying to think, there's one other member, but I can't think right offhand, who won't be back either. So just very, very unfortunate. But it was great. It's wonderful camaraderie. We get out there and we practice literally at 5:45 every morning. That we're back here in DC. We've been doing that since March. So Coach Rogers, Roger Williams is a member from Texas. Now, Roger played in the pros. He played for the Twins. He played for the Braves.
Wow.
And in fact, he has some other pros, friends of his, that'll come in and kind of be a guest coach for the day. Daryl Evans, just to give you a walk down memory lane, has been helping us coach, but really more commentary and joking with us during practice than anything. Daryl Evans was on first base when Hank Aaron hit his home run to surpass Babe Ruth.
Really?
And so Daryl's is a Hall of Famer, and he's a really great guy. So it's a wonderful experience. And then we raise money for charity, which is really the most important part. So it's fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's good. And glad you guys could get together and kind of a social thing too. That makes a lot of difference. And it's America's sport. Baseball is America's sport. Period.
I love baseball. I haven't played baseball since high school, but I love playing. So.
Got to do a little series here. I think you were made aware of an article that was done earlier this year by Jim Webb. He's a former senator, U.S. senator from Virginia. Also, he's a Marine infantry officer in Vietnam, and he was Navy secretary from 1987 to 1988. Some of the stuff that he's saying in this article we talked about earlier this week was a little disturbing. Did you get a copy of it by any chance?
I did not.
Okay. Well, it's talking about reduction of forces at Camp Lejeune.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the force redesign. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't read that particular article. I've had to read on plenty of this. So this goes back. Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Berger, has decided he wants the Marine Corps to look differently. And take out tank units. There will no longer be Marine tank units.
They've done that.
Reassign other members. And then he's looking to cut the forces of the Marines.
Yep.
And word is that it could be anywhere from a 5,000 to a 10,000 troop reduction at Camp Lejeune.
Yes.
And I was speaking with some locals about this past week, and I've set up a meeting with our Marine our Marine liaison with General Berger for a briefing. I've spoken with General Jack Bergman. Jack is a member of Congress from Texas. Mm-hmm. Jack is a former 4-star Marine general. And there's just a lot of debate going on in the retired community and not so retired community about whether they agree with what General Bergman's doing. General Berger is doing. And a lot of controversy over this. And so, I don't get the chance. The only person he reports to, this general reports to the Secretary of the Navy. And the Secretary of the Navy reports to the Secretary of Defense. Secretary of Defense reports to the President of the United States. There's not an act of Congress that could prevent him from doing these things. Surely I'm not going to get that in the minority. So I have also a briefing set up with a ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee to try to figure out really what is the truth, what is the rationale for all this, and what's going to go on, and how it's going to affect us, especially in Onslow County.
The Mr. Webb, in his article, he goes on to point out that the next war in this country that we're going to fight is likely going to be with China. And he says he's predicting the reason that they're moving some of these squadrons, like the Ospreys and three squadrons of Ospreys and a number of the CH-53s from Lejeune or New River Air Station, as well as the artillery that we have. Like you say, they've already done away with the tanks, moving it to the left coast because it's closer to China.
Yeah, well, it was interesting because just a year ago, they were moving troops from Camp Pendleton
Yes.
over to us.
Yeah,
Correct.
they've still got 700 planned MARSOC troops are planned to be moved in here. Well, they were as of last week or two. I don't know whether it's going to happen or not, but MARSOC's gearing up for it here. So we're going to trade we're going to trade 10,000 people for 700. That's what it looks like.
That's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and with all the nonsense that's going on in the military now because of the wokeness, the Army was down 40,000, 40,000 number of recruits that we did not get this past year. Because of the forced vaccination issue, the wokeness going on in the military, all of these things. And so, here we are, Biden transforming America into America that is second class and not respected in the world. And it's really a tragedy that's happening right in front of our eyes.
Yeah. I think our local leaders, those on the county commission, they're a little upset about this, especially with all the reports from the Marine Corps told them some years back. Be sure you build a lot of houses now because we're gonna move a lot of troops down there, and so we got a glutton of houses, and it can be a mess for the real estate market and for the car market.
Yeah, for everything.
Yeah, it will be.
For everything, really.
All right. Dr. Murphy, get some rest. Sounds like you were up late last night and pretty tired.
Well, we were cheering pretty hard for our team, so that's great.
Well, that's good.
That's great.
Yeah.
Sir, until next time, we'll chat again soon.
Yes.
Take care, my friend.
Yeah,
bye, Kelly.
Bye.
Congratulations on the win. You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. All right, welcome back. I'm always happy to talk with the congressman. Glad to talk
Mhm.
to him about some things that are not quite so devastating,
Yeah.
along with some that could be. But the baseball game last night, that was great.
Yeah.
It's great that they do things like that. Of course, it brings back the memories of Steve Scalise in 2017, I think it was, when he was shot by during practice the day before the game was scheduled.
Mhm.
He was some guy came in the stadium, shot him, almost died, and shot two other people, or shot at two other people, or something. I forget.
Yes.
More than
Yes.
one was hit, I believe.
Yeah.
But Scalise was critically
Mhm.
injured,
He was.
and Capitol Police took him down,
Yeah.
and, shot him dead right then and there. Um, and he targeted Republicans.
Yes, he did. Mhm.
Oh my! Hey, you remember when they leaked? Somebody leaked the information about Roe v. Wade, how the Supreme
Yes.
Court was looking at it
Mhm.
and giving it serious consideration back in the spring.
Yes.
There's a leak now coming from Republicans, not about that, but about Hunter Biden and a pending indictment. You know, Hunter's under investigation.
Well, he's been under investigation for a really long
Uh-huh.
time. He's like the Teflon Don. You never
Yep.
can find anything they're going to indict him with.
Well, they may have stuff. They just probably
Good.
saving it all up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whether the president will allow that to occur or not, who knows? And he can
True that.
absolutely stop it, pardon him,
yeah?
do
Okay.
whatever, pardon him in advance. I mean, Biden's going nowhere after this term anyway. I don't think he's going to run for re-election, in spite of what he says.
Speaking of that, well, go ahead and finish what you're going to say first. and
Well,
I'll go.
that's pretty much it. I don't think he's going to run for re-election.
Well, he says he is.
I know he says,
Now
but he
the-
also says he wasn't going to do anything with that border wall. He was going to stop it dead in its tracks,
Yeah.
tear it down.
Yeah.
Well, why's that working out?
Well, he might as well because he's just letting them all through.
Well,
I mean,
yeah, but they got
Yeah.
4 pieces there in the Yuma area,
mhm.
4 sections that need to be completed to stop the most of the
Mhm.
immigrants that are coming into the country illegally.
Yeah.
Okay. So that he signed off on a bill yesterday to do that, signed off on an order to do that yesterday.
To complete them or take them down.
No, to complete them. Yep.
Yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
gonna
Well,
take 'em down.
there's a lot of things
So
it's
he
not
lied.
doing that he told people that he would do.
Yeah, I don't think he
The
remembers
biggest
some
thing
of
being
it.
that college tuition thing, but people are mad about that. Apparently, the Democrats held a poll. This makes me laugh, and they wanted to who do you want? Who does basically the Democrats want to run in 2024?
Well, let me ask you this.
They don't want
first.
Biden.
Who is more unpopular than Biden? 2 of those that are on that list, right?
Agree. I think all 4 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah,
2 of them for sure
there's 4 people on this list.
on the poll.
Yes. Now, he's already said in January he was going to run again,
Yeah.
and that his running mate's going to be Kamala Harris.
He hasn't
Yeah.
consulted Jill yet.
No. Now, the 4 people, the top 4 of this Democratic wish list for who they want to run in 2024, Kamala Harris had 21% of the votes.
Uh-huh.
Behind her, Hillary Clinton.
What was her percentage? Curiously.
Let me see if it says. It doesn't say, but she
Okay.
was second. Oh no, 19%.
Okay, they're
okay.
neck and neck.
Governor Newsom of California, and he is horrific. And Pete Buttigieg, or Buttigieg,
Buttigieg.
however he says his name, they're both tied for third at 9%. Yeah. So those are the top 4.
Well, if I was in Kamala's shoes right now, I would say, I don't want that job. Let me make it perfectly clear
Wow.
to you. Why? Because you got the number 2 person out there, and we know her history.
Oh yeah, and the number 3 is horrific.
Well,
Or number 2, I'm sorry, number 2 is Clinton.
Yeah.
Number 1, Harris. Now, number 3, nobody likes Newsom. The California voters hate him.
Well, the thing
Yeah.
is, where was this poll taken?
Was taken among Democrats only.
Yeah,
So
I know,
there's
but
that.
where?
Doesn't say.
Yeah.
But also, this article also says that the strategists have deemed Buttigieg the
Buttigieg,
most
yep.
likely Democratic replacement for Biden. Scary, 'cause he's a weirdo too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Let me figure out if I can find out where this poll came from.
Well, and the other thing, polls,
A
bar
data
polls.
company premise.
But who decided to use those 4 names? Or how many names did they use total?
The question become, we need to find this poll.
Okay,
because did they say write who you want, or did they give you a list and pick?
Well, let's just add up those percentages. They don't come out to be 100%.
No.
So
Yeah.
there are some other people
There are
there
other
that
people
fell below the 9%.
No, this article is talking about these are the top 4.
Yeah.
Yes. It does not say who the others are.
Okay.
Yeah, does not say it at all. Yikes.
All right, Democrats. Got any Democrats out there? Doug?
Yeah, Doug or Theo.
Theo.
Or any of the. Well, Theo would pick Clinton. I already know, so he would say her.
Why wouldn't he pick Harris?
He loves Clinton. He's made that very clear.
Whatever.
So Theo would pick Clinton. So Doug, of those 4 names, who would you want to see running? I'm curious. I'd like to know what Doug thinks.
You're live and local, Real Talk. We'll be right back. Don't go away. All right, welcome back here. Wrap up here for this hour anyway. A little bit more about that baseball history with the whole deal.
Mhm.
If a team wins 3 out of 5 games, the same team, like if the Republicans win 3 out of 5 games in a row over the years, 3 out of 5 years, then they get a trophy, a special trophy. It's only offered for the team that wins 3.
Okay.
Okay. The Republicans have outdistanced the Democrats in that statistic a lot. They've won a lot of the trophies over the years. But the it's almost, as far as the individual games, it's been kind of close, 43-42 in their series during the entire time they've been playing. But the Republicans are in the lead here, 43-42. And they get look at here's what they call a roll call trophy. If you win 3 games, you get a roll call trophy. Democrats, I guess they won 2 games there.
94.
Yeah, well, they won 3 out of those 5. They got this one, and this one, so they got 3. So they got, and then the Republicans got a roll call. Then the Republicans get another roll call, and another roll call, and another roll call. Then the Democrats get one, but the Republicans outnumber the Democrats in number of trophies,
Okay.
a bunch. So anyway, in 1909, the game was organized by a guy out of Pennsylvania, Representative John Tenner. He was a professional baseball player, professional baseball player. He thought he would be cool. And Democrats won that year, the first year, 26-16. That was a one-sided game. But it's kind of like the one last night, one-sided, 10-0. What a shutout. Can't imagine having the bases loaded, no outs, and all you got to do is get somebody there that can hit a home run, and you would be with 4 runs. But then there are 3 outs in a row, 2 strikeouts and I think a ground out. Poor babies. Nancy shouldn't have claimed to be the coach, or maybe she should have been the coach. You never know. Okay, what have we got coming up next hour? Anything special you want to talk about?
We have Dumb Crook news.
You got that? Yeah, about 8:30 or so.
Yeah, around 8:30. But
yeah, glad to have that. Russia claims 40 Ukrainian prisoners of war killed in a strike with U.S. rocket systems.
Yeah.
Ukraine says was a brutal execution, and no, we didn't do it. So we talk about that. Who knows what the truth is around here? You never know.
Well, I can't believe they're still going strong.
I don't know. I have no clue. 40 Ukrainian prisoners of war were killed after U.S.-supplied high-mobility artillery rocket systems were used by Ukrainian armed forces to strike occupied territory in Russia. Hit a Russian detention center, it says. Ukraine says, nope, didn't do that. I'm sure that was a brutal execution of the POWs, and they tried to blame us for it.
I agree with that.
It's a good possibility.
Creepy.
It has some evidence of that it was a U.S. missile.
Yeah. Well, I can't believe this is still going on. I mean, Russia just needs to hang it up because clearly they didn't have the intended. They thought they was going to go in there, sweep, boom, and be out of there.
Well, they planned on doing.
We're how many months
3
into
days
this
or
now?
something? Well,
Yeah.
since February. All right.
Almost 6 months.
Yep. We'll take a break and we'll be back on the other side. We'd
Yeah.
love to have your calls. And Doug, if you're listening, we'd love to talk to you. And anybody else, any Democrats out there, and Republican observers, strategists out there, who do you think that the Democrats will choose?
Well, who do you think the Republicans will choose for that matter? Yeah, I'd like to hear
that's up in
that.
the
I would
air
like to
right
know
now.
that.
Yeah.
If you're a Republican, who do you think the Democrats choose, or who would you like to see them choose? Because I know why you'd like to see them choose that person. B, who would you like to see the Republicans pick? I'm curious to see that. I've already told y'all I'd like to see Tim Scott, but I don't know if he's going to run.
I don't
I
think
like
he's gonna
him.
run, but,
I know, but I like him.
Trump is in the running, obviously. Right now, he's the front runner as far as everybody's concerned, but we don't know anybody else is for sure going to run. DeSantis is likely.
I'm not a fan of him either. He's a weirdo. I just think he's weird. I just don't like him. I mean, I can't tell you why. He's weird.
Yeah. Strange.
Yeah.
Strange guy.
Yeah.
You're live at Local Real Talk. Our number, 910-333-0139. We'll be back after Fox News break. Remember the WNBA player,
Yeah,
Brittany Griner?
Griner. Yeah.
She and a U.S. Marine retired, I guess, or former, Paul Whelan. They're both in jail. They've been sitting in the jail in Russia for a while.
Whelan's been there a good while.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say a couple of years, I think.
I don't know how long, but
I'll
anyway,
tell ya.
there was some talks earlier this week that United States and Russia have been chatting about an exchange, a prisoner exchange.
He's been there since December 2018. He's
Wow.
52.
Yeah.
He's a former Marine. He was arrested on espionage charges.
The president's administration said that they have been talking with Russia about some kind of a proposal. No mention, the Secretary of State Blinken said, no mention of a deal that included Victor Bout, a Russian arms dealer known as the Merchant of Death.
They say that guy's a dirtbag.
Yeah. Blinken said that has not even been brought up by the United States, but the U.S. and Russia are chatting. So I don't know where that information came from, but it has some sense of reality, no doubt about it. Kremlin spokesman Peskov said the prisoner swaps were typically negotiated discreetly behind the scenes. We know that such issues are discussed without any such release of information, he said. Normally, the public learns about it when the agreements are already implemented. He emphasized that no agreements have been finalized and refused to provide further details. So she was picked up because she had what was legal here but illegal in the U.S. I mean, illegal in Russia when she was there to play. The Marine was picked up because he was a Marine, had been a Marine, accused of espionage. He was arrested, in 2018.
Yeah.
He was inside a glass cage in the courtroom.
Yes.
He held up a note that said, "Sham trial, meatball surgery, no human rights, Paul's life matters, decisive action from POTUS and PMs needed. Happy birthday, Flora." I'm assuming that's his wife.
He has several dual citizenships.
Yeah.
Canadian, American, British, and Irish citizenship.
Man.
Yeah.
Rebecca Koffler, a Russian-born former U.S. intelligence officer and expert on Russia and Putin, she told Fox on Thursday that this back and forth between Russia and the Western media can make it difficult to predict what's to come. So they're trying to keep save face, trying to still put up a big front that they're all powerful and that he's still the bear.
I think they'll swap him. They want that guy back.
They do.
The guy they want is a dirt bag.
Why do they want him? Not because he's a killer, but because he's been interrogated by us.
Well, not only that,
a big time, and they can learn what the U.S. wants to know.
Yeah, well, that's part of it. And I think the other part, they want him to get back to doing his dirty deeds.
I think he'll be so marked he won't even stand a chance.
True, that's true.
He'd be high price.
Yeah, but he's got contacts. He could point them in those directions.
He could.
Yeah.
But he had made arrangements with the undercover guys. They were DEA guys posing as drug cartel down in South America. He made arrangements for a lot of missiles, surface to air missiles.
Where's he get them from?
I don't know, probably from Russia. But he was going to sell them. I forgot how many billion rounds of ammo, but a bunch of surface to air missiles. Now, let me go back and let's point out there. What is a surface to air missile used for? Shoot down planes.
I was going to say shooting down planes. Yeah.
Now, what does a drug cartel need that for?
Good point. To instill fear, but yeah. Here's the other reason Russia might want him, because he was stealing their equipment. And
was he stealing it, or were they giving it to him? And
hard to say. Who knows?
Maybe he was just a broker.
He could have been a broker. Either that, or they want him because they're like, this idiot stole our stuff, and we're going to kill him. Who knows?
They leave him locked away in the U.S. if that was the case.
That's true. Good point. Yeah, unless he has information or stuff. Hard to say, but I think this deal may go through.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We will see what happens there. I don't know.
Yeah.
Griner, I mean, she knew better, I'm sure.
Well,
I'm sure she was warned.
Well, let me tell you, bet she loves this country a little more now. She was
Uh-huh.
one of the ones complaining about the national anthem being played before games. She didn't like
I
it.
bet she would like to hear it now.
I'm certain you'd like to hear it now. Makes you, gives you a different perspective when you find out the rules actually apply in other places and they're going to be enforced. Imagine that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel bad for her. You took a substance that you knew was banned there. Why would anybody be dumb enough to do that? That is a dumb crook thing right there.
That is a dumb crook
You
thing,
knew
for sure.
it was illegal there. Hashish is illegal in that country. Why would you do it? She did the hash oil and
Yeah, it had vape cartridges containing oils that came from cannabis.
Yeah.
She said she had no intention of breaking the law. Then why did she have that there?
Correct, because it's illegal there.
Yeah.
And full well they're told what,
Oh, God,
what,
yes.
you're told what, these are the laws of this country, because some people have this misguided sense that I'm an American, I can get out of whatever. And let me tell you something, as someone who's lived in other places in the world, I'm here to tell you, you are under the laws of that country. You're saying I'm an American, often will get you laughed at. So people don't care.
I used to laugh.
So she got what she deserved. I don't feel sorry for her, not one bit. I just don't.
I used to laugh at Americans down in Jamaica in the grill.
Yeah.
You had the Rastafarians there, right?
Yeah.
And they were openly selling ganja on the beaches.
Yeah. Yeah.
You come up to you and have remember, you've seen cigar boxes, right?
Yes.
They had cigar boxes and had this stuff in it.
Yeah.
And they'd come up and they'd offer it to you. Well, and they would openly smoke it on the beach.
Of course.
In front of the police and everybody. They didn't get bothered.
No.
But the minute they sold it to an American
would get arrested.
Why? Because he didn't want to go to jail and he paid money not to go to jail.
Correct. Yeah.
That's what it was all about. That's the way that whole scam was working. That was back in the 90s when I was there. And folks said, yeah, I'm going to go to Jamaica so I can smoke me some ganja weed. Yeah, right.
Just like in Amsterdam, certain drugs are legal there, but not if you're not a citizen. It doesn't work that way. That's such a misguided thing. People are just dumb.
Yeah, it's okay until you get caught. And I'm sure that the Rastas were working in cahoots with the police there.
Well, let me tell you, there's a show, and I can't remember what it's called, but it comes on TV because when I was on bed rest, I watching mindless nonsense, and it has to do with people that get caught smuggling like contraband and drugs into the United States, and they get caught at like TSA checkpoints in airports and stuff like that. The sheer stupidity of people is it's mind blowing that they actually thought that they could get away with it. Now, some of them have been doing it for a long time. Like one guy had actually swallowed. They could see it on the X-ray. They had to take him to the hospital. I mean, they're like, if these bursts, this guy's going to die. I mean, it was just one guy had to be surgically removed, and other people just had this stuff on him. And then one guy, when he realized he's facing like 26 years in prison, instantly starts crying and they arrest you.
It's funny.
It's like, oh my goodness. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for you.
I don't feel sorry.
No.
In Miami International, I was there waiting for
that was one on there.
Oh yeah,
that was interesting. Yes.
I'm standing there in the baggage claim area, and here comes the guy walking a little old mongrel dog. He's in civilian clothes. Had him on a leash. Didn't have any identification on either one of them.
Yeah.
And the dog walks up to a woman standing in the baggage and sits down.
And that's a key right there.
She turns and looks at him, and she started screaming, bawling. And of course, he ID'd himself, and they took her away.
So she knew what that dog was.
Oh yeah, they're told what those dogs do, and that's a clue. But the dogs that they get are just amazing. They can be any breed.
Well, yeah, people often think they're going to get like a police looking type dog, and often they do, but not always. They'll get some like little foo-foo dog or some just regular mixed breed dog.
This was a Jack Russell, as I recall.
Oh yeah.
So it was.
You would never expect a Jack Russell.
Why would you?
Yeah.
Be kind of like expecting my Shockwave to be.
Yeah.
Well,
or my daughter's golden retriever. She's wild enough. Lord.
I could take Shockwave in the airport like that. He would cause everybody to have a panic attack. Not looking for drugs. He'd just be friendly. Walk up to him and want to play. He could send a panic attack through that entire line if you hold the drugs.
Yeah.
They'd probably try to drop it all. Oh, well, whatever's. Okay, let's see.
North Carolina leaders are considering testing our wastewater here for polio
Oh, good. We've got
because of that and they directly said because of what happened in New York. We had someone test positive for New York. It's been over 10 years in the United States when there's been any polio. So,
do the kids get vaccinated anymore for polio?
pretty sure, yeah.
Do they?
I'm positive. Yes, they
I don't
do.
know.
Yeah. The guy in New York that got it was not vaccinated.
Mhm.
But that's still scary because now in New York, they're already testing it, which, I mean, you can't blame them. But North Carolina has started adding the flu and respiratory something virus. I ain't even going to attempt to pronounce this word. And in 2021, they started testing for COVID.
Mm.
But now, 2 weeks ago in North Carolina, they started checking the water for monkeypox.
Oh boy.
And as of yesterday, there's 46 confirmed cases of monkeypox in the state of North Carolina. Monkeypox is just gross. I've seen pictures, and that's one of the other things it's just gross.
Where did it originate in Africa?
Yes, but I read something yesterday. It's been around for a really, really long time. Most of these viruses have been, and they, for whatever reason, have just have not managed to elude humans, and then all of a sudden. But I want to say the monkeypox. I thought I read. Yes, it came out of Africa, but it came from somebody that had been working in a lab that were testing. That's what I might be wrong, but I think I read that.
Oh boy.
But now it has just full blown. And yes, why it was just like AIDS, while it was initially spread through, gay male contact, monkeypox, because of it's so transmissible, it's contact with stuff. So some guy could have monkeypox, for example, and let's say he gets on an airplane, he's touching the seat rest, he's touching the screen in front of him, he's on the seat, he's touching doorways. You can get it from touching an area that an infected person has touched. That's why 2 kids have contracted it, because they were in contact with an individual that had it. This is why I'm saying, like, I got laughed at last week for going into Sam's Club and I was wiping down the cart. Y'all laugh at me all you want. I'm going to tell you right now. You don't know, people are dirty and gross, and you don't know where their hands have been. And I don't want nobody sick, been touching parts of their body that's, who knows, unclean, or just in general. They may, people go out with COVID. People go out with the flu, with strep. So I will wipe that cart down. I will hold the line up or walk around me. I try to move out of everybody's way. If I thought I could get away with putting on gloves and not looking like a real weirdo, I probably would do it that way. I don't want people's sickness. I don't want people's grossness. And it takes me 30 seconds to wipe that cart down. It makes me feel better. And I've actually started carrying my own Clorox wipes because I don't know what kind of wipes they use there. But no, it's gross. Bottom line. Yeah.
Maybe those carts, maybe they should set up a decontamination cart line. So when they bring them in, it goes through a machine.
Yeah.
And it
that's a good
sterilizes
idea.
every one of them.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be? I'd feel better.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
A place called Hazard, Kentucky.
Oh, I thought you say Georgia. I'd be like Dukes of Hazzard. Okay.
Hazard, Kentucky.
Never heard
A historic flooding event unfolding in eastern
yeah.
Kentucky now.
Mhm.
48 hours after another historic rainfall event buried parts of the St. Louis area under feet of
Very
water.
sad. Yeah.
1 in 1,000 year flooding events.
Scary. Yeah.
It is. We heard on Fox News earlier where a lady said floods came in and moved her house off the foundation.
Scary.
Wow. A combination of an atmosphere ripe with tropical moisture and a frontal boundary that is stalled across the region has set up a days-long summer soaker across the heartland. Some rainfall amounts never before seen in the area's recorded history. Wow. That's 1 in 1,000 years. And we got rain coming here tonight. I hope it's not going to be this flood, this summer soaker they
We're
call
supposed
it.
to have up to an inch. It's supposed to be heavy rain, which can flood a lot of our streets here
Oh, yeah.
very quickly.
Yeah. There are several streets in this area that, where's the one, Medical Center Drive over there somewhere?
Yeah. Huff Drive especially. We do have an issue I wish someone from the sheriff's office would call in about. Last night, there were alerts going out. There was a black Kia Soul
Yes.
going around Wolf Swamp Road shooting at
I
houses.
saw that.
And there was a heavy law enforcement presence along of sheriff's officers along Wolf Swamp. I know a few people that live out there. Was this a real thing? Because they're saying Ring doorbells were catching the thing. Did this happen? Have they caught anybody? Like, what's the status? Because people were very on edge. I just had somebody text me about it, asking, have we heard anything? So if there's anybody from the sheriff's office listening, can you let us know what has occurred? Because we would like to know. The listeners would like to know.
Yep,
That's a
absolutely.
scary thing.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Anybody see this? I mean, the shots were being fired.
yeah,
Drive-by shots were being fired.
And
I
it
don't know
made
whether
the-
anybody was hit or what.
no, and it made a lot of the local, the neighborhood websites.
Yes,
My daughter lives in Bryn Mawr, and she texts me. She's
I
like,
got
"Mom," and I live in the Commons,
I got it on
and
the
they
Ring
said it
doorbell
was
thing.
happening in the Commons too. Once or twice we heard what sounded like gunfire, and then right after that, some idiot was shooting off fireworks. But you could tell that, and Robin's like,
there's a
"No, that's it." You could
Yeah.
hear the difference. Why are you lighting off fireworks? This is about to be August. Yeah, that was aggravating. But we also heard what was straight up gunfire. I know the difference. Yeah.
You're live and local, Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m., WSME. Stand by. Weather is next. I do like living in this area. Eastern North Carolina is my favorite.
Yeah.
Where we have an opportunity to fish, number one, pretty much year round. To take advantage, the best advantage of that opportunity, you need to stop by Tideline Marine one day. If you have a boat, you're already ahead of the game. Just make sure that professionals keep your motor in perfect order. The technicians at Tideline Marine are there for you. Yes, they're pretty busy, and that should tell you something. If you're considering a boat, you really need to see the folks at Tideline first. Even if you're not ready to purchase right now, go ahead and stop by and have a chat with George and the team to discuss future opportunities. Tideline Marine and Family. Just stop in, look around, sit and chat a spell. Chances are you're going to find something there you like anyway, even if it's in the gift shop. Located on the banks of the New River at 159 Old Bridge Street in downtown Jacksonville. Small craft advisory is in effect for just a little bit longer, should end about 9 or 10 o'clock this morning, but be careful anyway. Southwesterly winds 15 to 20 today, seas 3 to 5, dominant period 5 seconds, sounds and rivers choppy. Pretty much the same thing tomorrow, identical, in fact, tomorrow. And Sunday, southwesterly winds a little less in the morning, but they'll increase to 15 to 20 in the afternoon, seas 3 to 4. And on Monday, back to 15 to 20 knot southwesterly winds, seas 3 to 5 feet.
Today, mostly sunny, high of 96. Heat index as high as 111, and gusty winds. So it's going to be a hot wind with gusts as high as 21 miles an hour. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 77. Tomorrow, showers and thunderstorms likely. Some could produce very heavy rainfall. Otherwise, between that, partly sunny, high of 91. Heat index value tomorrow as high as 103. Tomorrow night, we're going to have potentially very heavy rain. It's saying beware, and we could actually get between 3/4 and an inch tomorrow night. Then on Sunday, showers and thunderstorms likely, mostly cloudy otherwise with a high of 87. Yikes.
Okay,
Yikes.
I just checked the National Hurricane Center.
Yeah,
Just wanted to be
I know,
sure.
it's awesome.
The Atlantic tropical cyclone map here, the cyclones, and
Correct.
tropical storms and
Mhm.
and depressions and hurricanes. Tropical cyclone activity is not expected during the next 48 hours. It's a nice clean map. That's good.
Yay. Yeah.
That's about as far out as they could do.
Yeah.
Let me check one more here. Okay, the next 5 days, nothing really looking out there in the tropics, nothing they expect. In the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico, that's good. So for the next week or so, that's looking all right.
Mhm.
We're bound to get something coming off the coast of Africa one of these days, and hopefully it will just get out there and drop a little bit of rain on nothing and then go away. I don't know whether it's just too hot for them right now or not. Normally, if the weather, you got water temperatures as warm as they are right now, then it's it can be a magnet for hurricanes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I haven't just seen it. They got to form up first.
They do. I think end of August, beginning of September, it's going to get active.
In the Eastern Pacific, they got a couple of them out there right now.
Yeah. Yeah. The Pacific is very active right
It
now.
has been this year.
Yeah.
So, they got marine warnings issued. Tropical Storm Frank and Tropical Storm Georgette are in the Eastern Pacific. Don't know what they're going to do. Hopefully they'll be safe out there as well. Okay, what else we got cooking out there? Have you bought one of those tickets yet for the Mega
No, I
Millions
have not.
jackpot?
But I didn't realize it was even a thing.
It's
So I
now
saw it this
$1
morning.
billion.
Yeah. I mean, Lord, everybody's going to be continuing to do that. But I feel like I need to just go buy one. Yeah.
Just forget
Maybe a
it,
couple of
'cause
them.
some
Yeah.
win.
Somebody's going to win that money. Yeah.
Robert Pagliarini is a financial advisor, and he says, there are some pitfalls that come along with suddenly getting a big chunk of change like that, and he's seen it before. And we've read about them. These people get millions and millions and millions of dollars that should last them and their entire families and their future families for the rest of their lives, and then within a couple of years they've blown it. Something has happened. Taking all your jackpot lotto winnings at once leads to greater problems than just a tax-induced headache. The Mega Millions jackpots is at $1.02 billion. No one claimed the $830 million Tuesday.
Lord.
It started out as a $20 million jackpot in April, 29 consecutive days without a winner. The financial advisor there, author of the Sudden Wealth Solution, says that most winners would want to take the lump sum up front, even though they only get to keep 60% of the jackpot. That's because of taxes. That would be a mistake, he says. Most people want to take the lump sum. They want their money up front, even though they know they're going to get a 40% hit. So if you got a $1 billion coming in, you're going to end up with $600 million. Okay. I don't know what I'd even do with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
They want control. They want it now. They don't want to have it spread out over nearly 30 years. Well, in a case like me, if I had that winning ticket, I think that I would go see my daughter and say, here's the deal.
Yeah.
You go claim it.
Mm-hmm.
It's yours,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not.
Yeah.
Sign this contract.
Yeah.
I get to have control over it over the
Mhm.
next whatever the length of time I live.
Yeah.
And yes, you get your allowance out of it, but I've got control over the big stuff. You can't go going crazy with my money.
Would you, okay, let me ask you this. Would you say I'm gonna, because what's to stop you from spending every bit of that money and leaving her with nothing?
Contract.
Okay. Would you put an amount in there though?
Oh yeah, it would.
Okay,
It'd
saying
be
I'm
kept
gonna
off.
make sure.
Well, first of all, I
yeah.
couldn't spend it all because she would get everything after I'm not here.
Yes, but couldn't you quote spend it all, and there not be nothing left for her after
No,
you're
no, no,
gone?
no, no. You could. They only give it. It has to be spread out over 30 years.
Okay.
So you get 1/30th the first year, 1/30, another 30th the second year, and so
Okay.
forth. So 1/30th of $1 billion is minus some tax. You pay the taxes on each year that way.
Mhm.
So 1/30th of $1 billion is how much?
I have no idea. Who knows? A lot.
Yeah, plenty.
Yeah.
It's plenty. Yeah, that would be fine. That would work out okay. And then she could get her 1/30th each year. Whatever. That's how I do it. Taking this, if you're young, you just take it yourself. No big deal.
Yeah.
Would you, if you go buy a lottery ticket, do you pick the numbers or do you let it do it randomly?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any particular series of numbers you like?
Sometimes I do, but sometimes I do it totally random. Yeah. Sometimes I do it all like the kids' birthdays and stuff, wedding anniversary, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
But I don't always do it that way. Sometimes it's random. And sometimes I'll just be like, think real hard. Okay, what numbers pop? And then the first numbers that pop into my head, yeah.
I
don't think that works.
I have not played enough, but
I need to play the numbers from the TV show Lost. They claim that works. I've heard that. Don't know how true it is, but just saying.
I don't
Mhm.
know. I
Don't know.
Nope. You know what time it is?
Yeah. Do you know what time it is?
Yeah, it's time for Dumb Crooks.
Yes.
And hey, you got some good ones?
I got some pretty good ones. I lost one. Somehow I lost one of the ones I had up, but I'll get back to it in the next commercial. But
Mhm.
I've got some, and I'm going to start off with North Carolina. Actually, it was a couple of years ago, but it popped out. I have not seen this in any of my dumb crook looking. And these two are dumb because, I always never understood why people steal from employers. You're going to get caught.
Sooner or
Yeah.
later.
So 2 guys were arrested, and they were charged with stealing. This gets better, Rayford. $50,000 worth of tube socks. Yes, you heard me. Yes.
One.
Uh-huh.
What would you do with them?
I don't know. It doesn't say. Now, personal opinion, I think they were selling them.
Oh, well, that's the only thing you could do with them.
Yes.
But you
'cause you can't
increase
wear
your
'em.
chances of
Yeah.
getting caught by selling them.
It gets better.
Oh,
They worked in the Haynes distribution center. That's how they got them, because
Mhm.
they worked in the distribution center. Now, how dumb are you? Because it took they were charged. There was $2 million worth of merchandise missing. Somehow these two were charged with the $50,000 worth of socks. Maybe that's the only thing they could connect them to, because $2 million worth of merchandise total, but they could connect these two to that.
yeah, probably.
Yeah, dumb. And they were seen on camera. Don't they know? Because, I just can't. Rayford, why? Why would you steal from those things? Are heavily watched, monitored. That'd be like somebody going into the Amazon center and stealing. Yeah. You got to be some kind of dumb to do that. I mean, I just can't. And who knows? Maybe they weren't part of the initial 2 million. They just got caught because it said they were conducting actual in-store surveillance.
Yeah.
When they went into there and got it on a Sunday when they weren't open. So they just happened to actually be in there when they were totally surveilling. Idiots. Because the other thing is, you can deduce that there would have been some kind of like staff meeting or whatever saying, we've got thefts. We're going to be watching, who's stealing,
Yeah.
They're going to do that. They're going to. Nobody's going to come forward, of course, but not to matter. They're going to do it. Yeah.
So they got busted.
Yep. Stupid.
I wonder if they were part of a bigger ring.
They had to be. Nobody's this dumb. They had to be.
Hmm.
They were charged with felony larceny
I hope
and
so.
felony breaking and entering because they went in when they
After
weren't
hours?
open.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Mm.
Stupid. What's even weirder is 2 were charged, but 3 suspects were on the camera. So where's the other guy?
Don't know.
Yeah, they didn't. And how come? What I'm thinking, now this is me once again not knowing because it doesn't give a whole lot of information. But I wonder what happens if I click this. I'm wondering if, like you said, it was a bigger ring, and maybe they were identified because they worked there, and the third guy didn't. I don't know.
Or maybe the third guy was part of their group, and the third guy. When you get 2 people or 3 people or 4 people, somebody in that chain is going to be weak, and they're going to make a deal.
Mm-hmm.
So let's make a deal.
Yeah,
That's the way that would go.
Could have been. Yeah. Dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that was just dumb. Now, I couldn't do this without going to Florida because the Marion County Sheriff's Office dubbed these 2 the dumbest criminals recently because they do dumb things. So 2 guys were burglarizing like convenience stores.
Mm-hmm.
And they would steal lottery tickets and cigarettes. Dumb. Yep.
They got, if you win with one of those lottery tickets, they've got them. They know a list of all the numbers from here to here to here to here. They've got you dead to rights, dude.
Wait till I tell you how they got caught, Rayford. You are absolutely going to love this. You're going to love it. Oh my God. So they left behind several incriminating items in the stores they robbed. You want to guess what? You were going to love this.
Business cards or ID cards or something.
A shoe, their tools, and one of the guy's wallet, which had his ID in it. How do you go? First of all, who takes their wallet to rob a place? First and foremost.
Where are you going to leave it? In the car with the other crooks?
How do you not know you're not wearing your shoe? Or that you have your burglary tools or don't have them?
Maybe they got in a fight.
I don't know. No, they just were dumb. And also they were caught on camera because these stores have cameras. They were caught smoking, so they also could extract DNA from cigarettes. Idiots. Yes. One of them's name is Robert Hobby, and the other one's Marcus Reeves. Robert's 41 and Marcus is 23. Oh, here's what they look like.
Born again losers.
Yeah, one of them looks like, I think he's a meth user just based on what looks like meth on his face, the sores. Yikes. They looked under the influence, but you got to be some kind of dumb how do you not know you're not wearing your shoe? I don't get it. Now I've got one from 3 days ago, yesterday. Wait, what's today? 29. So it was posted yesterday, but I think it happened earlier this week. Last Friday, a week ago today, here in North Carolina. Lord, of course. Gold Hill. I don't know where that is. Oh, it's Rowan County. Okay. So a guy, 7 a.m., people have cameras on there. Most people have like Ring doorbells or some kind of cameras.
They do these days.
So a guy was alerted that his front porch was on fire. Okay. So he goes there, and there was a woman standing next to a car blocking his driveway.
Really?
Because he wasn't home. So he pulls up, he got a thing, he rushed to his house. And so he tries to pull in his driveway, she's blocking it. She mumbled something when she saw him and kind of brushed him with her car and drove away. Now he got her license plate. And so the police, and he didn't know this woman. He's like, I don't know who this woman is. They ended up tracing the car to Christine Louise Jones. She's 49 of Richfield, North Carolina. She set 2 fires.
Oh.
One on the front porch.
Oh.
And another around a propane tank using Flex Seal to obstruct his garden hose and she cut his above ground pool, causing $20,000 in damage.
What is the
She's
re?
I gets better, but let me tell you what she's
Oh.
charged with, and I'll tell you why she did it.
Oh,
Psycho. She's charged with felony first-degree arson, assault with a deadly weapon, larceny of an animal because she was holding one of his dogs on a leash when he confronted her. She's under $101,500 bail. Let me show you a picture of her.
yeah.
Yeah, she is kind of yucky.
Yeah.
She thought this was her ex-boyfriend's house.
She thought it was
the wrong house.
Uh-oh.
Yes. Now,
I'm sorry.
if you're going to commit all these crimes, my first question is, why did she think it was his house? It doesn't say. Okay.
Yeah. Well, she's
Um,
probably stoned.
yeah, well, she looks kind of gross. Yeah. But if you are going to do all this stuff, you might want to confirm, do your homework, confirm that's his house before you go. I mean, this involved a little bit of work, putting the Flex seal on the garden hose and cutting a pool.
Yeah.
You know, strapping a fire to some kind of flammable substance to a propane tank. She's lucky she didn't blow everything up, to include herself. Then somehow she managed to get this guy's dog. Where was the dog? In the house? Was it outside tied up? Because it was on a leash. Creepy. Yep.
And she didn't know that that wasn't her
She did
ex-boyfriend's
not
dog.
know. That question correct?
Duh.
Apparently she didn't. Like, how dumb are you?
Pretty dumb.
Yes, I totally agree with that. Yeah. So if you're going to be a successful criminal,
Do your homework.
there's your homework. Like, don't lose your shoe. Okay. Don't leave your wallet, or better yet, don't take your wallet to the scene of a crime. Don't do that.
Don't do any smoking.
Don't smoke in. Get in and get out. Don't steal something that's going to be very easily traced, like a lottery ticket. Okay. You know, like, there's just a lot of don'ts. There's a whole lot of don'ts.
Yeah.
Don't be high when you're committing crimes. That's another one. You know,
Well, they had to have courage to go do it, so that was the reason for it.
I think they were just motivated by, it's usually drugs.
Yeah.
But yeah.
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 Better take a break.
Let's take a break. Yeah.
If any of you police officers, former police officers, retired police officers, or anybody like that, probation, parole, that also included.
That would be, yes.
Wildlife officers.
Yes.
They
Lord.
have got stories like you would not believe.
They do. Yes.
Dumb crook stories.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
What kind of lies have you been told? What kind of actions
Or
were
what
going
kind of
on?
what kind of excuse? Yeah.
Well, I thought it was my ex-boyfriend's house.
Mhm.
And then go, here's the jail cell. Think about it. You're live in local real talk. Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME, and we'll be right back. Okay, here's what we're going to do. We would change the name of the segment here instead of Dumb Crook News. How about Live and Local Real Talk with Real Dummies?
I agree, because I'm telling you what,
Real Dumb Crooks.
I found one on here. I'm still trying to pull up that list I had. I somehow X'd out of it, and now I can't find it. But we're going to go to England because they do some real dumb things there.
Mhm.
You know, they make our dumb criminals look smart sometimes. But this guy here, you know, a lot of people fake their deaths. And what's the number one reason why people do that?
Fake their deaths?
Yeah.
Well, so they can not get caught after they've done something bad.
Or what's the other reason?
Money.
Yes, money. Okay. So this guy named Hugo Sanchez in Farnham, Surrey, England, he was a web designer. He made a lot of money. Okay. So he had a £500,000 life insurance policy plus an amazing pension, apparently. So he faked his death so his wife could get that money. Now, if you're going to fake your death, what are some things you should not do? Move about.
Go buy
go
things
places,
and use your credit card.
Yeah, like this idiot went shopping, and the cops were alerted because someone tried to use he had some kind of staff discount card. It's in his name. And he tried to use it. Yep. So they pulled his death certificate, re-examined it, found out it was him, and he only got 5 years in prison, which is very low in my opinion, but that's kind of low. But yeah, idiot. Now, some other dumb guy in Kent, England, apparently was growing marijuana in his house. Okay. Someone broke into his house. Now, I'm betting that somebody knew what he had. Just personal opinion of mine. This idiot, his name is Stephen Barton, called the police when his house got broken into.
No.
Now, I believe he's the dumbest one today so far. I mean, come on. Well, I don't know. That lady who tried burning in the wrong house is pretty dumb. And she's from North Carolina. Made us look bad. But this guy here. So the police are going through a house, and what do they smell, Rayford? Guess. Yeah.
Marijuana.
Yeah. He had 133 plants in his house. He had a farm. That's not even a few plants. That's an actual farm.
It was small plants. I assume he's going to transplant. 133 tall plants, something else.
He had a lot. Just said he had, I don't know, idiots. And he had 30,000 pounds. The 30,000 pounds of money, but also the plants were worth that on the street just to be sold as plants.
Yeah.
No telling how much the marijuana would net, but yeah. Do you know what is happening? Like, he only got 16 months. These sentences are lax. I guess if you're going to commit a crime, you want to do it in England, but not if you're an American. But yeah. There was a guy in England, and he was a burglar. And what he did was, so he broke into a house, and in that house, he cut his hand on the glass, and he didn't wipe his blood off. First of all, you know your hand's cut. So, okay, yeah. He manages to successfully steal whatever he stole from that house, and he left. Well, the homeowner comes home, sees it. Well, the neighbor next door, his house had not been burgled because they wouldn't have you burgled, no, blah, blah, blah. As the police are in the neighbor's house, he tries breaking into the house that hadn't been broken into. Yes, the police are in there. He's going in, trying to go in through a window. Now, how do you not know, Rayford, that the police are in there interviewing the guy? They notice the house that got broken into, and they're like, okay, it's right next door, because these houses are like townhouses, so they're attached. The police, they arrest him, do his DNA, totally confirm. He's like, I didn't break into that house. And they're like, you're a liar, blah, blah, blah. Gets that done. So what I'm getting at is what happened in court. He goes to court. The judge tells him, "You are the dumbest individual I have seen in a long time," berates him, calls him stupid, and actually told him, "If you're going to break into it, become a professional thief." I don't even know what that means. So he got
Get your act together.
Yeah, he got put on like 4 months of house arrest and paid some fine, and told him said if you come back, he said professional thieves get jail time. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you're certainly not a professional, so he's
You're
put him
also
down.
well, he's like he called him an idiot, like totally berated him for like 5 minutes. But I don't know, would you I mean, if you're going to tell people to act dumb, they're going to get off. That's kind of how I look at it.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's kind of weird, Rafer. It's just kind of weird to me.
Yeah.
Now, why people? Oh, this one here is dumb. So a guy goes into a Burger King, okay, and he tells them, he shows them a gun first off. Orders food, pays for it, shows him a gun, and said, I might just come back and rob you.
That's enough.
So he said, but I'm probably not going to do it. He takes this food and he leaves. Okay. Well, the employees thought, we probably ought to tell somebody that we're doing this. So they do. This idiot came back with his gun. And before he could even attempt to rob them, the police were there. They arrested him. Do not tell people that you are going to commit a crime.
Yeah, please go ahead and tell them.
I mean, how dumb. Totally dumb. And it's some lady in Gainesville, Florida, and I'll say this before we take a break, robbed an Arby's at gunpoint, took a taxi to the robbery, Rafer.
It happens. Yeah. Had one in Wilmington, took a taxi to
why?
a bank robbery.
Why?
And they got in the taxi and they dropped him off at Carolina Beach.
She made it 2 blocks. 2 blocks. I can't, Rayford. I can't deal with that's just too much stupidity for me. Yeah. Let's take a break. I got to regroup.
You're live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 and 1120 AM WSME. And we are back.
We got one more.
More and more.
Because this guy is dumb. All right. His name is Dennis Hawkins. He was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And he decided to rob a bank. He came up with this well, I'm sure he thought it was clever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to remember, he knew they have surveillance cameras and
Yes.
whatnot. Okay. So he disguised himself using a woman's blonde wig, a set of false breasts, and clown pants. Okay. You know what he didn't do, Rayford? Didn't shave his beard.
Maybe there's a
Idiot.
bearded lady in the circus.
He was a total moron. So he was quickly identified after his description was shared with police officials, and he was reported by a gas station worker who saw him attempting to steal a car. Now, this is after he'd robbed the bank.
Oh, good.
Now, he would have been easy to spot in a crowd anyway. Why, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Because they had dye packs hidden in the cash.
Yeah.
Made him red from
It
head
went,
to toe.
Went off.
Head to toe. Yeah. I mean, and so he was clearly unsuccessful with trying to steal a car. But once again, have a getaway car. Why would you try to steal a car? Because do you not think that's going to make people call the cops? Change your disguise. I mean, I would have ripped those fake boobs out and the wig off and the clown pants, especially. Who walks around with clown pants on? But if you're going to, oh my God, Rayford, I just can't. Yeah.
The dye pack over here in Bryn Mawr years ago in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Guy left on foot after he robbed the bank.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him dye packs. Okay. He's cramming money everywhere. He put one of the dye packs in his hip pocket.
Mm-hmm.
He got across the street from Western Boulevard, which wasn't nearly as crowded then as it is today. Probably still 2 lanes then. I don't know. It went off.
Oh, okay.
There's an explosive charge in there.
Right.
It burned his backside.
Oh my!
It dyed him really well.
Oh my!
And they caught him over right off of Belfort Road there in a little community called Maypatch.
Nice.
Had to go to the hospital.
Absolutely, he would have to. Yes.
My.
Dumb people do dumb things, Rayford.
Yep.
Dumb things.
They do, absolutely.
I mean, this guy should have shaved his beard, if nothing else.
Yep.
Shave the beard, dude. Yeah.
Coming up on Sports Talk, right after Live and Local this morning, Chris Rayner, his guest is Dave Miller, going to be in the house.
Oh, okay.
So that'll be a lot of fun.
I know him.
Yep. And so he's a well-known dude.
Yes, he is.
I've asked you guys, if you're listening, if you would, at some point in time today or whenever, if you would log on to YouTube and to sign on with us, I would like you to subscribe to us. I'll tell you why, but it's blatantly, for money.
Yeah.
No, I'd like to have you as listeners, and that way, whenever we do post something live, like our live broadcast or some video, because I've been posting a few here just to see if it would get anybody's attention.
Yeah.
And I'm posting some underwater video that I've taken. I'm not going to post any long anything, except our show is 2 hours long. But we'd like to, with our new home on the internet, we'd like you guys to tune in and take a look at us and give us a shout out. Let us know how things are going. We had a bunch of you on Facebook. Facebook got to the point that they were censoring not only what we were saying, but what some of our callers were doing and saying. They became very obnoxious there. But www.youtube.com, and then you'll see a little search bar at the top, and it's just put in Live and Local Real Talk. Yeah. Okay. The Real Talk extra will keep you from having to scroll through 5,000 live and locals.
And you'll see a picture of the you and Lee, I think.
The three of us are on there.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind doing something like that, that would be we would appreciate it.
Yeah, because the more subscribers we get, the better it boosts us up.
Yes, it boosts us up, and then once we get 1,000 subscribers, then they will start
advertising,
put little ads on there that we approve of.
Yeah.
And that then they send us money for it. That would be a wonderful change.
Yes, we could do with that. Yeah, we can improve some stuff around
here. Because we had over 3,000, I think, like 3,800 people on Facebook.
Yeah, we had a lot.
We got 28 subscribers as of this morning.
Yeah.
Of course, it's only been a week because we're new.
Yeah, we've only
been. We're
getting there.
We're hoping you guys will do it.
Yeah, help us out. We'd love it.
That would be nice. And It's a good community
Mhm.
project. And I'm certainly not going to send out one of those GoFundMe things. And by the way, if
No.
you subscribe, you're the only thing you're going to get. You're not going to get a bunch of ads. You're going to get it whenever we get ready to go
Mhm.
live. When we hit the
Mhm.
live button in the
You'll get a
mornings,
notice.
you'll get a
Yeah.
notice. Or
Yeah.
whenever we post a video, you
Mhm.
may get a notice then. I'm not sure
Yeah.
about that, but you will get a notice when we go live.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
coming up next week, there's a interesting guy that I run across that we're going to be talking to. He's a really conservative individual,
Mhm.
and I saw some stuff that he had posted, and he's got an organization going, and he's been around, been doing a lot of things over the years. So he's going to join us at 8:00, 8:05 Monday morning. So we'll give him a ringy dingy, and we'll talk about a whole lot of really cool things that are kind of conservative in nature. So, okay. Plans for the weekend. Watch out for the rain.
Yes.
Be careful out there.
Watch out for the heat today.
The
Please
heat.
take care of your pets. Please don't leave them out in the
Oh,
heat.
please
Please
no.
don't leave your pets out in the heat.
No,
Please.
no, don't.
Don't put your kids out there to play long periods of time.
No, and make sure that if you're working outside, which a lot of folks do,
Mhm.
take frequent breaks and load yourself up with water. Okay, best thing to do. If you're working and you've been sweating all day and suddenly you stop sweating, there's a sign of a future problem.
Correct.
In just a very few minutes.
Correct.
Go load
Yes.
yourself down.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just that's one of
Absolutely.
the key signs here.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you in here again on Monday morning, and we'll see how things work over the weekend. You're live and local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.